Hey Leo, come on in. Let's talk about your reading this month. Hey, Tinker Meow. So, your reading is really interesting because you don't have a predominant theme in this reading. Your theme is, well, there's stuff all over the place. So let's just talk about it. And let me make sure that these are in order so that you can see them. What we've got here is very interesting, and you'll obviously know the energetics of this more than me because you're living it, or anybody that's looking into the energetics of Leo will understand it. But it's fascinating because the very beginning of the reading, it talks about this dichotomy between the new you, refreshing, surviving kind of a catastrophic sort of thing, to having to rebuild and become new within yourself, and actually feeling really good about the new you, really good about a lot of things, and feeling pretty, the word is happy. So here's what's crazy and wild and makes you very complicated, Leo, is how can you feel so happy and also have such anxiety? So we've got that really right in your centerpiece, and I think that's fascinating. I don't know if it's all the change or what's happening, but we are going through we are in the last month where we're finishing up, only up until the 19th here, and then we go right into Aries, but we're finishing up the astrological calendar year. So maybe it's looking through everything, maybe it's going into the future. I'm not sure exactly what this energetic of anxiety is, because it's very rare that you get like the sun and the star and you then also get the anxiety-ridden Nine of Swords with it. So you are teeter-tottering back and forth on the highs and not lows, but anxiety lows, should we say? So, Leo, what do you have such anxiety over? One thing it does talk about in your most recent past, there's a level of like two females or something that are either not agreeing or not the same or not on the same side, or like it's they're turned literally upside down and not facing each other, but it's like they don't, it's weird because it just feels like they're so opposite in a way. And this is just in your recent past with the two female energetics that I don't know if that's what's causing you anxiety or not, but you are right on track with your Wheel of Fortune. You've got a double Wheel of Fortune here, right side up. So you are on the upside, meaning you're going to handle the destiny level of what you're doing. So like you're right on track and you're going to be leaping over the hurdles, not going under them. So you're on the easier end right now of going through it with like this Pisces and beginning Aries energy into March. And I'd say utilize it, because once we get into the full Aries in April, in the sun eclipse instead of the lunar eclipse that we're doing this much in March, it's going to be a lot more aggressive. So really get your magical stuff going on now within the Piscean energy it's predominant in the month of March. If you want to know more about that, you can go and look at the video. I'll do a link below in the month of March, the astrology, March Astrology Report that I did. It's a long video, but it talks about every aspect of all the planets and everything that's going on. So if you want to know detailed. This, of course, is a general reading. I do more detailed with one-on-one, but this one is general feels of themes that are coming through. And the one theme is that you are right on track. I don't know, like with your anxiety and everything, but you're right on track of where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. It does say in the future coming up that you are able to see clearly what is kind of opening up and working for you, like what doors are opening for you, and those are the direction that you're supposed to go into, and like kind of like your destiny, that, oh, I really need to go that way. It's going to be very clear to you. You'll be able to use your intuition. Also says right now within some of the new project or the new actions that you're doing, actions that you're taking, you actually have a lot of support. There's a lot of even like your friends and everything that are celebrating you and that support you. So that's really good. Your world is not turned upside down. Just like what I said, you're on track. It's just trying to decide your give and take. One of your hopes and fears is like the level of who and how you're give and taking to, give and take. And it's really important right now with Pisces because within the celebratory ending of the year of who you're partnering up with, that you're going to really continue into the next year and really get a lot of things done, is important right now. So it's important that you celebrate. I can't speak. Celebrate and make yourself available or give within this last celebratory month or season, only up until the 19th, really, and then we really change over into the new astrological new year coming into the Aries sign. So celebrate each other, celebrate all that you've accomplished. It does talk about in the future that there's a partnership, a youthful partnership that's going to get some second chances. Very nice, lovely. So if you had any sort of arguments or disagreements, it looks like you'll be able to talk things out and get second chances in a type of relationship that you do genuinely care about each other, so you're willing to do that. And let's look forward. It does talk about an authority figure, and like an older gentleman, an authority figure is feeling like they can't trust. It's hard for them to look in the future because they don't know who they can trust. That's coming in down here, and that's weighing in your environment of whatever that authority is, or what that is. I don't know, maybe that's part of your anxiety. I'm just trying to figure out what your anxiety, I mean, obviously you know your anxiety. This is not really totally my business. And going into the future, it does talk about you're going to try to really leap into the Aries energy of trying to get a lot done, but you're taking on a bit too much. You do need to delegate, and you also need to delegate, it says, with contracts or with really written agreements of when you delegate some of the work out of who's going to do what and schedule how. It's hard right now within the Pisces, all the planting of the seeds energy, more than seeing a lot of results of the plants coming out of the ground. It's because Pisces is not just like fantasy, but it's really magical and spiritual, and you get a lot done within those energetics, and it's a slight holiday sort of energy before you get really going in Aries. But it's dreamy and it's magical, and you want to utilize it for what it is, which is definitely that. So when you're taking on the actions, don't take on too much just alone on yourself at the end of the month. It's talking about, well, that's when we're into the Aries energy, but still delegate out. There's a Knight of Wands that needs to help, but needs a little bit of direction, but really wants to. So going into the future. Looks like there's some energetics of past energies of some partnerships of almost like a deal or something that fell through, that used to be someone that used to either get money from or have like a relationship and in the past, but is not able to be in that role right now. Not that there's any break from that person, but was not able to be in that role. So, yeah, I can see how now when I read more and more into this that there's levels of things that can give you anxiety. But in general, you're right on track with where you're supposed to be with your, very much so, your Wheel of Fortune, your destiny. And it's just about getting the next thing that blooms in the garden and working with that, being very focus oriented on the doors that are opening, the people that you are talking to, and those relationships, and all the opening doors, and putting your energy into that and being very intuitive. This Pisces energy and everything is very, very intuitive, and we've got the lunar eclipse coming in. Once again, watch the video on all of that, and really dive in. There's a lot of not knowing, and that can give you anxiety too, the unknowing. But within the Piscean energy that we're having in this month, the best thing to do is go into the being. If you can be in the, it might seem corny, but if you can be into the meditative energy where you can find a way to really connect with source and be in the being energy, then the knowing will come through. That's how Pisces works. That's what the energy that we're in right now. It's the dreamy, it's the connected to source, it's the oneness. That's where you're going to get your knowing. It's not going to be where it's mindful, or we were early Aquarius, where you could tap in and tap into the universe with the mind. It's not that way. This is more like the feeling and the intuition is where you need to go right now, and use that. Really speak to that, feel to that, of the next doors that are opening and which steps to take on everything that you're doing. Like I said, second chances of a relationship that's healed. Don't overwork yourself. The give and take between your relationships are going to make you feel whole, especially if you give more than take. You got the gist. I mean, there's all the rest that I talked about. The older gentleman, the sport. I mean, there's so much good here that the levels of anxiety, I think, are probably just slightly natural. And there's a lot of newness. When you're doing the star card, there's a lot of brand new stuff, a lot of new yous, a lot of new things, a lot of new stuff. And that in itself can bring a lot of anxiety. But you're doing well. And you got the Destiny card twice, right side up. So you're right on track, right on track. Can't tell you much more than that, but look into your sun, moon, and rising signs to see what other constellation energies that you're kind of being harmonious with. All right, talk to you later. Have a good one. Mush, mush.